Okay, part two of my Dune deep dive continues with the 1984 theatrical movie. Note, I don't have access to, nor have I seen the extended cut, which I've heard both ways. It's either good or worse than this one. I know David Lynch himself has disowned that cut, but in recent times has said he'd like to do his own proper director's cut. This film has kind of a reputation, and there's people that like it, people that hate it. It's got its problems, but I can enjoy it for what it is. Some of the practical effects in this are really good, like the scene where Paul takes the ritual test and he rides the sandworm. That looks amazing. The problem is this movie with a 2 hour 17-minute runtime, shorter than the Denis Villeneuve 2021 movie, condenses the whole story of the book into just that short of a runtime, and you lose a lot in translation. One of the biggest strengths this movie has going for it is the soundtrack by the band Toto. It is really well done, especially the music when Paul rides the worm or for the battle at the end. It's got some decent cast members, but some of them, like Patrick Stewart, I feel is really miscast in the role. And Sting, who plays Fade Ralpha, and well, there's a reason we know Sting for his music career and not his acting career. Like, yeah, they could have done someone better. From what I understand, it was the studio that wanted him in for some reason. The actor that plays Stilgar did pretty good, but like he doesn't get much to do because again they're really compressing the whole story in a lot of characters like Baron Harkonnen, who is more of a floating buffoon, suffer from it. Plus, they did a lot of like weird things with the Harkonnen. Like this version of the Baron actually likes to torture people, which is for as perverse and disgusting of a character as the Baron is. He doesn't believe in torture. Not that he doesn't disallow it, but himself, he just personally doesn't enjoy it. He prefers manipulation. In the Harkonnens, they also have these, their servants and stuff have these heart plugs put in them. And if a Harkonnen just doesn't like the way you look at him, or you overhear something you shouldn't, they'll just walk up, pull the heart plug, and you bleed out. That was something new for the movie, and it doesn't work. I'm on the side of I like this movie, but it's got more than its share of problems. It's good for what it is, and a lot of people got introduced to Dune through this, and that's never a bad thing. It does and it's also very like experimental and trippy, which given the nature of what Spice does is ironically kind of appropriate. The scene where Paul undergoes the spice agony is, I think, really well done in this. In the spice agony, it's like before a Bene Gesserit can become a Reverend Mother, she consumes this stuff called the Water of Life, which they take what's a baby sandworm, like put it in water, and it expels this liquid as it dies, and it makes the water super poisonous. And if Bene Gesserit can consume this water and convert the poison, it unlocks the fullness of her powers, and Paul has to do this because it's right out of the book. Even his abilities through using spice are weakening, and he has to take this final test, and it's when Paul comes into the fullness of his powers, and also at the point in the book when he becomes the most unrelatable. His sister Ilea is done really, Ilea, however it's pronounced, is done really interesting in this. His mom underwent the spice agony and became the Reverend Mother for the Fremen people, only she was pregnant, and because of that, the baby was what was known as preborn, where the baby came into full consciousness, and all the memories of past ancestors came to her as a child. And this kid is absolutely creepy in a great way. Let me look on the back if his name's listed here. The actor that played Paul, he did a decent job, but back to the... Yeah, this was a really interesting, and I can't wait to see how they're going to do Paul's... Denis Villeneuve's going to adapt Paul's sister. Like, she has this weird voice. Her powers are... Her mental, psychic, prescient abilities are formidable too, to the point where she can like just invade people's minds. Oh, Kyle MacLachlan, he did a decent Paul Atreides. But yeah, that was a kind of hard part to do, was Ilea Atreides, and they did a really, it worked for what it was. I'm curious to see how it's going to be readapted, but that's going to be a crucial part to Dune Part 2. The actor that played the Emperor did really good. One of the big gripes of contention with this film is it shows the Guild Navigators and they don't have the spice addiction blue eyes. This film, it's one of those I don't know if I can or can't recommend it. I do like it. It's not something I'll watch every time, but it's something from time to time. Yeah, I can put this in and enjoy it. I would like to see the TV miniseries adaptation. This one too, like most of the effects, like I've heard this film got lauded for bad special effects, and like with the exception some of the weird stuff with the Guild Navigators, like the practical effects look really good. The sandworms look great. There's a great sense of scale. Go back to the scene where Paul rides one. This film I'd give like a C. It's there and it is what it is. I haven't talked much about the plot because I covered details of the plot when I reviewed the book, and even though it takes liberties, the plots go kind of hand in hand. So part 2 of my Dune deep dive is complete, and be on the lookout for part 3 when I review the Denis Villeneuve version of Dune. Like, share, comment, subscribe, over and out.